he distinguishes from other days as if they needed distinguishing. For example, in the first day, he creates the heaven and the earth. Whoa, okay, that's ginormous all by itself. But it is not until the second day that he says something about in one sense, the completeness of it all up until this point. And we're going to go into the 8th verse of chapter 1. God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and morning were the second day. Okay, so that's the second day. So at the end of the first day, he created the heaven and the earth. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, so there must have been water there. He created light, let there be light, in verse 3 of the first chapter. God saw the light that it was good and divided the light from the darkness. So in other words, he created the light and the darkness. He called the light day, the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. All right, that's what happened during the first 5 verses. He creates the heavens and the earth, light and darkness, day from night, and amazing. Those are concepts which, as we move into some of our studies later, we're going to find out that they are extremely important concepts. But right now, for just right now, we're going to accept the concepts the way they are. So, now, in the second day, he says, I'm going to make the firmament. Divides the waters under the firmament from the waters above the firmament. Okay, firmament, he's talking about that as like the earth. It's something like the earth. It's unformed though, it's just not like incontinence the way that we have today. But it's all one great big land mass that he created. But he has a plan with that firmament for later. But there are waters there. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and morning the second day. Now here's where things start to get very intriguing. He says, let the waters under heaven be gathered into one place, like an ocean. And let the dry land appear, like maybe a giant continent. And it was so, and God called the dry land earth, and gathering together of the waters he called seas. Notice how he makes it plural, seas. So it's all one great big water mass, but they're divided somehow, and we don't really know yet how that is, but later on we will find that out.
It is interesting, Dave, how before the flood, there are 2 times where there's landmass, and then he begins to tell us about water divisions, like right here. And then after the flood, there's another addressing of the issue of the earth starting over again. And we don't always think about that as Christians, do we, Dorothy?
No.
Not always.
Not always.
So at the point at which he calls the dry land earth and gathers together the waters and calls them seas, he does something very special. He saw that it was good. And we're going to go fast forward over here to verse 12, the earth brings forth grass, herb yielding seed after its kind, tree yielding fruit, seed in itself after its kind, and God saw that it was good. So in day number 3, he sees things are good twice. This is fascinating because in verse number 18, the 4th day, he sees that it was good again. So we've got 3 days where on one of them things are good times 2. And then on another one, things are good. I'm focusing our attention on good in this sense because later on we're going to find out something startling. God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. So on day 5, they're going to bring fish and things that belong in the water. They swim in the water, or you might think about them as flying in the water. They're also going to create all the birds of the air, okay, the winged fowl, and these are animals that swim through the air, or if you will, they fly. So there are 2 different kinds of animals, fish and winged fowl, and they're both kind of flying through whatever the medium is that they are in.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the air or in the water, they're either swimming or flying.